Good afternoon, KELOLAND. We're following showers moving from northwestern South Dakota into parts of eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. No lightning strikes being reported as of yet, and that may change with a couple of isolated lightning strikes. Temperatures right now are in the 60s and 70s. The 60s where we had some light rain showers move through with that thick cloud cover. With some sunshine, numbers have warmed to the 70s to near 80 degrees in eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. For today, we'll go with highs in the 70s and 80s, continuing these isolated chances of showers and storms. More details on your forecast coming up as we begin midday in KELOLAND.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, midday in KELOLAND.
Changes could be in the future for several elected positions in Minnehaha County. A look at the discussion is coming up. Plus, what we are learning about security flaws leading up to the shooting at the Trump rally. Good afternoon and thanks for having us in. Minnehaha County heard input from the public on a proposal to combine the offices of County Auditor, Register of Deeds, and Treasurer into one new position that would be appointed, not elected. County Chairman Dean Karski and Commissioner Joe Kipley recommended the idea. It was a full room with attendees spilling into a surplus area. Various people shared their thoughts and many showed support for County Auditor Leah Anderson. I was at the meeting and we'll have a closer look at the discussion for you later tonight on KELOLAND News at 6. Sioux Falls City Council members are sharing their thoughts on what should happen to the taxidermy animals in the Delbridge Museum. Just last week, the consulting group AM Art Conservation presented its review to the work group tasked with coming up with a plan for the Delbridge taxidermy collection. We're set to hear from the City Council on the future of the animals later today on KELOLAND News. A state prison offender who was placed on escape status earlier this year is back in custody. Curtis Milk was arrested in Santa Cruz, California on Monday. Milk failed to return to the Rapid City Minimum Center following a work assignment on February 2nd. He's serving a 2-year sentence for possession of a controlled substance. In weather, it's a pinch milder than it has been over the last few days.
Yeah, we're looking at temperatures, in the 70s and 80s, still just a couple of degrees below average. But we've had some thick cloud cover throughout much of the morning and a couple of rain showers that we do continue to follow. They are falling from northwestern South Dakota and the parts of central and we'll say east central South Dakota, moving to the southeast. As we do take a look at our Huron radar, you can see we do have those light rain showers east and south of Huron at the moment. And across parts of northwestern South Dakota, I mentioned those light rain showers moving through. So futurecast, I would think around 2 or 3 o'clock. It's doing a pretty good job of seeing a couple of these light showers move through the Sioux Falls area. And then during the evening, we'll have to watch western and southwestern South Dakota, trying to bring in a couple of developing showers and thunder showers as we continue our chance as well in eastern South Dakota. So we'll watch the thicker clouds move through during the early part of this afternoon in eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. Dew point temperatures, they're still in the low to middle 60s in many locations, but those dew point temperatures will eventually start to dry out as these north winds will help bring in some drier air, especially as we get into the day for tomorrow. Our temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, currently 78 in Sioux Falls and Aberdeen, but we have 67 in Peard, 68 degrees in Huron, 79 currently in Rapid City. Forecast for today showing temperatures in the 70s and 80s for afternoon highs. And for tonight, any activity that we have with showers or thunderstorms will eventually go away. I think we'll have many locations with dry skies during the overnight, 50s and 60s for lows. And for tomorrow, will be a cool afternoon with highs in the 70s in eastern South Dakota, still able to reach the 80s in central and western KELOLAND. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. A new program from Sioux Falls Parks and Rec is giving kids an opportunity to learn while they play. Parks and Rec is partnering with Siouxland Libraries on Park and Play, which is for kids ages 2 to 9 and includes stories, crafts, and games. The bookmobile and mobile rec unit were each on hand for today's get-together at Spellerberg Park.
Read a book together, and then the kids get to use some of these obstacle courses and trikes and all that fun stuff to move and play and explore.
The final Park and Play of summer will be next Friday, July 26th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Sartsoma Park. We're going to hear from a parent about the benefits of the program tonight on KELOLAND News. A South Dakota woman is now a country singer and songwriter with her own single. Elizabeth Jo grew up near Lesterville, but now she lives in Nashville. She moved there to pursue country music in 2021, and now she has her own song out called Ride Away Cowboy.
6 a.m. Boots are gone again. God knows where you went this time. You're halfway in.
Coming up in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Lauren Solik is going to introduce us to Elizabeth Jo to see how her dreams are coming true. Nationally, the investigation of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump is already pointing to serious flaws in security at the rally. Additional video from the scene appears to show bystanders trying to warn police just before the shooting. Charlie DeMar has a closer look.
Cell phone video taken Saturday evening shows rally attendees pointing towards Thomas Matthew Crooks and trying to alert police to his presence 2 full minutes before he fired at the former president.
Right here, right on the roof.
Less than 15 seconds before the shots, people are seen running away from the area. Then, just moments later, some in the crowd begin shouting that the man on the roof has a gun.
He's going down!
The shooter killed firefighter Corey Comparator and wounded 3 others, the former president, 57-year-old Marine Corps veteran David Dutch, and 74-year-old James Copenhaver. Seconds later, he was shot dead by 1 round from a Secret Service counter-sniper. The Butler County Sheriff says his department, which was on scene, was not responsible for sweeping the roof where the shooter was perched.
The Sheriff's Office was not asked to do that. And I don't know whose responsibility that would have been.
Sources tell CBS News that the Secret Service didn't clear it either, since it was outside the secure perimeter. But a source with direct knowledge of the incident says 3 snipers from local law enforcement were staged within the building just beneath the shooter. They observed Crooks acting suspiciously before the shooting and radioed into command that he was using a rangefinder and had a backpack. By the time help arrived, it was too late. A law enforcement source tells CBS News that the shooter visited a local gun range days before the shooting and purchased 50 rounds of ammo before heading to the rally. Multiple sources tell CBS News that the shooter's father called 911 shortly after the shooting. In Butler, Pennsylvania, I'm Charlie DeMar, CBS News.
Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle says she will not step down from her post, despite some calls for her to resign. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas says the Secret Service detail has been beefed up for former President Trump and that an independent investigation into what happened will begin within days. Meanwhile, the Republican National Convention is resuming today with a focus on immigration. Republicans have nominated Trump to lead their presidential ticket and cheered enthusiastically after he unveiled Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. President Joe Biden is back on the campaign trail after pausing his campaign following the assassination attempt. He will speak to the NAACP convention today. Biden continues to call for unity, but is also drawing a contrast between his policies and those of Trump.